Well, they've lost 3 straight, and the road only gets harder for Arizona State lacrosse. I'm Troy Lynch, and today, to break everything down, we bring in ASU Lacrosse insiders Eliav Gabay and Blaine McCormick. Guys, thanks so much for coming in and joining us. But it's plain and simple. They got number 3, Colorado, going up against them tomorrow. And then 2 days after that, they got Colorado State. Got both teams who we know can beat some of the better teams in the MCLA. Everything just seems to be mixed up. Anybody can beat anybody. But right now for Arizona State, I mean, there's issues on both sides of the ball. But Blaine, what are some of their defensive issues that they need to fine-tune going into number 3 Colorado?
Well, I think the ultimate defensive problem that they've been having is the poles sloughing out of the cage. They need to slough more into the cage to prevent those slides from coming forward, and they need to execute their slides a little better. Because when the defensive middies get back, they're the only resource in order for them to stop them. And with the defensive middies side of the ball, they got to start playing this pressure-adjacent style of defense that they haven't been doing too much lately. Now, what I mean by that, you're not too far off of them, but you're not like locked onto them, you know, like a one-on-one matchup. Give them a little room, but when they move, check them and don't give them topside in order to go to the cage. And they've done an okay job of it, but not really, because they've allowed 37 goals on the season. And that's huge for these 5 games and stuff like that.
So that's all they need to change going into Colorado? Just simple stuff like that?
I mean, just the little things, you know, and
right.
Especially converting on turnovers, too. I mean, they have a ground ball total, of 76 as a team. If they're able to get those and put those into the clear and really fine-tune their stuff, that'll make them have success in Colorado this weekend.
Well, we always knew that Arizona State's been more of an offensive-minded team, but I mean, they've been struggling in that area as well. Eliav, what do they need to change?
When I spoke to McRobbie after the game against Boston College, he told me that the biggest problem was ball movement. I mean, players have been acting a little bit too selfish on the offensive side of the ball. When you look at BYU, 11.5 team assists per game. When you look at Cal Poly, 6.5 team assists per game. Boston College, 6 team assists per game. ASU guys, 3.2. That's the biggest issue in my mind. I mean, they need to move the ball. They need to get some flow going offensively if they really want to be more successful on the offensive end, and that's really been their biggest issue.
All right, let's put this into perspective, and I want both of you guys to answer this too. Going into this weekend, let's say they beat both Colorado and Colorado State. What does that mean? But if they lose, also same question.
Well, I mean, if they win these 2 games, that's going to be huge, especially since these 2 teams are some of the top performers that we've seen in the MCLA. Both are championship quality teams, and when we saw them play GCU in the past, they put up pretty good matchups with them, but Colorado State able to upset the Lopes in their most recent matchup. Now, I think the ultimate thing for Arizona State is just to concentrate on these 2 games and keep that momentum forward, because then they get into divisional play.
That's right.
Up against you-know-who, rivals GCU.
That's right. Eliav?
Well, I really think that if they lose these 2 games, it could really affect the program. If they win these 2 games, it affects the season in a big way. I mean, this season could be a failure if they lose these 2 games, or it could be just, you know, maybe there's still hope if they win these 2 games. So this is really the turning point of the season.
Excellent stuff, guys. I mean, Colorado on Thursday and Colorado State on Saturday. We'll see how Arizona State lacrosse does, and then once we find out, we'll have even more coverage from you guys. Eliav Gabay, Blaine McCormick, I'm Troy Lynch. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.